So today's list has to do with head coach rankings. The 33rd team, and this was Ross Tucker's rankings, went through and listed 1 through 32, his rankings of the best head coaches in football. And you could take 171 here. Steve, we'll go through the list here. He didn't get into any specific criteria as to why he ranked anyone ahead of anyone else.
Let me say that I generally really like this 33rd team. I don't even know where it started out of, like who started it, but I really like a lot of the stuff they do. And I love Ross Tucker. And Ross Tucker and I believe Kevin Stefanski went to the same school. I believe they both went to Penn.
I do believe that is correct, yes.
And so I know from interview, when I was on the fan, and Ross Tucker would be on with us during the football season every week. And Ross was a big fan of Stefanski. So I was a little surprised where Stefanski ended up on this list, though those last 2 years have gone poorly. So go ahead.
So here's the list, and then I'll give you his reasoning for putting Stefanski where he did, and then we could discuss whether or not this is appropriately ranked, underranked, or whatnot. But the top 5 head coaches, according to Ross Tucker, from the 33rd team: Andy Reid at number 1, Belichick 2, Tomlin 3, Sean Payton 4, Nick Sirianni 5. Any immediate qualms with the first 5?
Dang, Sean Payton just get up there? Like,
I don't think.
I would
pull up. Me personally, I would not put Sean Payton that high.
I mean, Nick Sirianni's only done it for 1 year, right?
Mm-hmm. This very much has a "what have you done for me lately" feel to it.
But except for Belichick.
Belichick and Tomlin haven't done anything for us. They've both been mediocre.
Yeah.
It's a weird list. I don't know. I got to see. Listen, coach rankings are so weird.
It's so subjective.
It's whether you have a good team or not. If you have a good team, your coach is okay, right?
Except that Tomlin and Belichick have mediocre teams.
So,
but they're godfathered into that list, kind of. But if we're godfathering those guys, then why Sirianni 5 based on 1 season?
Let's go to the next 5 players or coaches, on the list. Number 6, Kyle Shanahan. 7, Sean McVay. 8, Brian Daboll. 9, Pete Carroll. And 10, Doug Peterson.
Now, here's something I don't understand. Like, again, if we're basing it on the team, which mostly it is, I may not be the biggest Zach Taylor guy, but outside of the Chiefs and and really outside of the Chiefs, who's been better the last 2 years combined than the Bengals?
Not very big teams. Nobody.
Because the Rams were great 2 years ago, beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl, but the Rams were terrible last year.
I guess he's just. I mean, this is his list, and he's putting his personal preference on
it.
And which is fine. It's his list. He can do what he wants.
I mean, Daboll is what, 1 year?
1 year.
Yeah, Brian Daboll had 1 year, won 1 playoff game. Zach Taylor in the last 2 years has gone to the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl.
So Stefanski after 2020 would have been a top 8 coach on this
I
list.
like Daboll too, but to put him at 8, I mean,
that's a little
silly.
nuts.
All right, next 5. Still no Kevin Stefanski on this 5 tiers of coaches, or 5 some, whatever you want to call it. You have John Harbaugh. There's your Zach Taylor Bowl. Mike Vrabel at 13. Mike McDaniel at 14. And Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings coach, at 15.
11, 12, and 13 should be all higher.
I agree.
Yes.
All 3 of them
I
should
agree
be
with
higher.
that, too.
Mike Vrabel is
14 and 15 should both be lower.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike McDaniel and Kevin O'Connell had 1 season, and they both lost in the first round of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, the Vikings lost to the Giants. The Dolphins lost to the Bills. Yes.
Yeah, so, I don't.
No.
All right, next, 16 through 20 here. We have Dan Campbell, Matt LaFleur, Arthur Smith, Ron Rivera, and Brandon Staley. Stefanski comes in the next tier of coaches, or next 5
Brandon Staley's what
here.
team again?
Chargers.
Right.
There is no planet where Stefanski should be ranked below Brandon Staley. Sorry, I know he's a local guy. But
no, he should be ahead of Staley. I'd put him ahead of Ron Rivera, too.
I would, too. I'd put him ahead of Arthur Smith.
Yeah, Arthur Smith. I'm like, what? LaFleur might be a little low.
I actually think Arthur Smith did a decent job with a pretty bad team.
Yeah, he did, but I mean,
but it's 1 year again. Like, I don't know. Go ahead.
And then the last list of the non-first-year head coaches is Mike McCarthy, Sean McDermott at 22, the Bills coach, which seems astronomically low as well.
Agreed.
Stefanski at 23, Frank Reich at 24, Robert Saleh at 25. And let's end the list here, Steve. We'll just go to the last one. Knock out the last couple. You have Todd Bowles at 26, Dennis Allen 27, Matt Eberflus 28, Josh McDaniels at 29, and then a tie at 30th with the 3 brand new head coaches, Shane Steichen, D'Amico Ryans, and Shane Gannon.
All right.
Who are
So Stefanski
Jonathan
at 23 is the real question.
Jonathan Gannon.
I don't
Jonathan
even
Gibbs,
know
excuse
them
me.
dudes. I know D'Amico Ryans because I thought he still was playing. The rest of them two, what do they do? Like, I don't know.
They're
Like,
new head coaches.
They were the coordinators
Gannon
for the
came
Eagles.
from the Eagles, and
right.
Steichen came from the Eagles,
Both
right?
did. They were the two coordinators
I
for the
ain't
Eagles
paying
last year.
attention to them.
I just got to thank all these other teams for not taking my defensive coordinator. I can't believe nobody hired
We was
him.
trying to get him up out of
I
here,
know.
too.
I've felt all along like Stefanski, based on 3 years, belongs to me middle of the
Middle of the
pack.
pack. And when
I can't put him any higher.
no,
than that, but-
that's the first time I saw that list
Yeah.
when Mike sent it out. And at 23, I thought, all right, well, that's probably somewhat close. Now looking at where the rankings are and where the names are, Anthony misspelled Saleh.
That was me. That's
Oh,
actually
God.
that's terrible on me. You're right.
Finally, it wasn't me.
I don't understand. Like, why would Harbaugh be 11, but Mike Tomlin be 3?
Kind of crazy.
Like, they're kind of the same guy in a way.
Yeah.
They both have had a lot of success over the years, and both have been kind of mediocre.
And you
in
mean to
recent
tell me
years.
if you had your pick of any NFL head coach, you'd find 10 guys before you got to John Harbaugh you'd
Yeah,
rather have lead your team?
that's
There's
crazy.
no way. There's
He
no
had
way.
Brian Daboll ahead of.
That's asinine.
ridiculous.
That's asinine.
Listen, everybody's got their own opinion. What was his take on Stefanski?
We have that. Steve, if you give me number 178A, I'll read you.
Please,
It's split into
178A,
two.
Steve. Let's get on with that.
But this is what Ross Tucker
Not
said about
178B.
Stefanski. This feels like a big year for Stefanski
You
after
think?
he won a playoff game and had the Cleveland Browns on the precipice of an AFC championship game in year 1. They've gone in the wrong direction the last 2 years. Next, with Deshaun Watson eligible to play the full season, Stefanski better make sure Browns owner Jimmy Haslam starts to get a return on that absurd investment, or Haslam will have to find someone else who can.
I mean, I think the one thing, to be fair, against Kevin Stefanski is he goes into the season on the hot seat.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He could lose. If things, like how many guys on that list ahead of him are likely to lose their job if they have a bad season?
Nobody else in the AFC North.
Right. And those 3 guys are not losing their
Staley.
job.
Staley's ahead of him inexplicably. I'd have
Right.
to see the list again.
Yeah.
The-
Mike, can you give us 11 to 15 and 15 to 20 again, if possible?
Sure. Steve, 172.
Let's
Let's
look
start
at some of
6
these
through 10.
guys. Like, are any of these guys in danger of being fired if their team has a bad season?
This is 6 through 10 real
Okay.
quick. Shanahan
Those guys aren't
safe.
going anywhere.
None of those guys are
McVay
getting
safe.
fired.
Dable safe. Carroll safe. Peterson safe.
Right.
Next.
Okay.
Harbaugh
Zach
safe.
Taylor's
No,
not getting
no.
fired.
Safe.
Vrabel
No.
probably not.
Vrabel might resign before he's fired.
Yeah.
McDaniel.
Daniel O'Connell, they're not getting fired.
They're
Not
two-
it, no.
They
They
coached
went to
one
the
year,
playoffs, right?
and they went to the playoffs.
And here's 16.
Dan
through
Campbell's
20.
not getting fired.
Rivera absolutely on the hot seat. Staley.
Rivera, Staley on the hot seat. Arthur Smith shouldn't be. Matt
LaFleur.
LaFleur, I don't know. I mean, the Packers are a weird team because they don't have a true
I mean,
owner.
they reset, right? Like you get rid of.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to
gets
get
a reset.
I don't think LaFleur's on the hot seat, but I don't guarantee that he doesn't get fired.
I
Is
agree
that
with
fair?
that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. He's not on my first list. He's not at the top of my list, but there's no guarantee he survives the year.
And the one thing I'll say about Dan Campbell is Dan Campbell feels to me like one of these coaches that is good with a team that sucks and can get like them working hard.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the nitty gritty and they're in big games, I don't know if I trust him
Right.
to be smart enough to make the right decision.
Was Mike McCarthy on that list somewhere?
Yeah, lower.
Yeah, he was
sucks.
21.
Yeah.
I think he might be on there. I think he's on the hot seat if they don't do nothing.
No, I don't think he is. Jerry doesn't like firing
It's
people.
weird with Dallas. Like Jerry feels like a lunatic, but he takes forever to let people go.
Yeah.
I mean,
He is patient there. You got to give him that.
I mean, Garrett
To the
was-
point where I think he's too patient.
Yeah.
Garrett was on that staff. He was getting rumored to get fired every year.
Every year?
Every year, he just kept being
Well,
there.
because the expectations for the Cowboys they're overhyped every year.
Yeah.
You know, but I would have Kevin Stefanski what was he, 23?
He was 23.
I'd probably have him 5 or 6 spots
That's
higher.
yes.
But I will say,
I'd have him 15 to 18, somewhere in
I
there.
will say this though: if you look at that list and you say who has the most ability to move up from where they are at the end of the year, Kevin Stefanski is right now at 23. But if he gets Deshaun Watson in offensive play well,
Yeah,
I
sure.
would.
Well, if Brian Daboll's in the top 10, he could be in the top 10.
He
You're
could be in the
forgetting.
top 10
Well,
tomorrow.
again, I don't understand. Why is it, I know Zach Taylor sucked the first 2 years he was there, and it was criticized. And I don't love Zach Taylor. I don't think he's a great coach.
He is the most. He is the Denver Nuggets of head coaches. He is the most underappreciated.
It's crazy.
Like
I don't
he
understand
disrespect, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's a great head coach
He's not
either.
great, but he's good.
I don't.
He's not elite. I'm not
Right.
giving. But like Joe Burrow loves him. That's got to mean something.
I don't understand. Like, what do you point to that says he's not a good coach? Like, why?
Well, I watched him play every week.
Okay.
Right? And there are things that some of his decision-making I'm critical of. But I would be, if I watched but I do the same with Stefanski. And I would probably do the same with every other team I watch, except for maybe Kansas City and 2 or 3 other teams. I think he's a good coach. I think he's done a good job. I think the players are totally bought in on him, and they believe in him.
Isn't he the coordinator?
He's not technically, he calls the plays, but he's not the coordinator.
So
like
dang, he should, like, I'm like, well, the offense is lights out.
There have been times where he's gotten a little too conservative with the offensive play calling, I think, at times. But I think he's gotten better, as most coaches will, given time.
Absolutely.
And so it's absurd that you put Brian Dable ahead of him. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But anyway,
Super crazy.
Listen, Stefanski has a chance to move up the list. Stefanski's one of 2 things is going to happen to Stefanski this year. Either he moves up the list or he's off the list.
Or he's fired.
That's it. He's not going to be at 23 next year.
Yeah.
When is this contract up?
What did he sign? Did he sign 5 years?
I don't even remember.
I'm trying to remember.
If they make the playoffs, does he get an extension?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is what we all want to happen.
Yes. And you know, I've said this before. Jimmy, and we all make fun of him and all the people that they fired. But Jimmy wants, like, he extended Hugh after a winless season. They gave Hugh an extension. Like, he doesn't want to keep firing people.
No, he doesn't.
He wants this to work. Like,
Yes.
he really wants this to work.
Hell, I don't want to fire nobody. Like, I could be critical and say you got 6 games to prove it or you're out of here. But
you don't want it to happen.
I don't want it to go down because that means reset button on multiple. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, the Browns have. I mean, when's the last time a coach coached 5 years for the Browns? Did Belichick coach 5 years? Romeo was 4, right?
I'll look it up. Hold
Belichick
on.
made it to 4.
No one in the new era, I don't believe.
Romeo was 4, wasn't he? Or was it even less than that? I can't remember now.
I think Butch Davis was only 4.
Mangini did not go 5 years. Did Belichick make it 5? I can't remember now.
I mean, it might be Marty.
It's been a while.
I don't think Belichick made it 5. I don't think he did.
Belichick technically started in 91 and coached through 95, according to what I'm looking at right here.
That's
That's
4
5.
years.
91,
5 years.
92, 93,
that's
94,
5 on the dot.
95.
So Belichick coached 5 years.
91, 92, 93, 94, 95.
Okay.
He coached 80 games, so yeah, five
Yeah.
years.
Okay. So and then before that, who's the last guy to coach more than 5? Marty.
Marty.
Right? Schottenheimer.
Marty only coached 71 games, so no. It was
What?
Sam. According to this, well, I'm looking at Wikipedia, he coached 84, 85, 86,
Go to Pro
87.
Football Reference and look at the breakdown there.
Sam Rotoligiano.
Oh, my God.
Sam
Ritigliano.
He said
Ritigliano?
Sam Rigatoni.
Sam Italian last
Sam
name
Ravioli.
coached 97 games for the Browns from 1978 to
my
1984.
God.
Say his last name again.
Ritigliano.
Okay.
Dude, Browns fans are going to be
They're
killing
going
you
to-
Well,
now.
listen,
Destroy
Ritigliano coached 17 years before I was born. So excuse me for not knowing.
I mean, you got to
a
know
Browns
that.
coach from the 70s.
Coach Sam, is he's still around?
Yes.
I saw him a few years ago.
Did he have a winning record as a Browns head coach?
I believe so, just slightly over 500, right?
G?
He's either right below 500 or right above.
I think he's right under, but it is right around.
It's close to 500.
I want to say like maybe 526.
I'm saying just over 500.
526.
Just
20%.
under 47 and 50
Yeah.
in 97 games.
But he had a couple of really good years as head coach.
He was a 2-time coach
Yeah.
of the year, UPI coach of the year.
great guy. He's from Brooklyn also. Anyway, he and I were at a charity event together a number of years ago. Great guy. But okay, so Belichick 5 years. If the Browns have a good year this year, then most likely Stefanski will be a head coach for more than 5 years here, and thus become the longest tenured Browns coach since Ritigliano, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But he's
Schottenheimer
got to have
had
that
5
good
years too.
Schottenheimer was 5?
Correct.
So since Ritigliano, you've had Schottenheimer for 5, and you've had Belichick for 5. That's it. And hopefully Stefanski will pass that because that means the Browns have a good year this year.
Yeah, he'll be here for a while, especially if he gets Deshaun Watson to play like Deshaun Watson
Right.
is used to. I think, D and Jimmy Haslam they'll be head over heels.
The last thing we want to be doing in November is discussing who the next coach of the Browns should be.
I can't even wrap my head around that right now.
We don't even
That
wanna
is
think
so
about
not good for us.
My head will explode if we have to go through coaching
it. Or if
candidates
you have to
next
pronounce
season.
Sam Ratigliano again.
I'll never pronounce Sam Ratigliano incorrectly again.
Yeah,
That's
all
a
right.
fact.
Fair
My
enough.
promise to you, the Cleveland sports.
There you
viewers.
go. All right.